This Saturday from the home of the Toronto Raptors in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, the men's and women's Money in the Bank briefcase will be on the line, as well as we have a Intercontinental Championship match, we have a World Heavyweight Championship match, and we have a personal six-man tag team match. It is WWE Money in the Bank 2024, with, dare I say myself, one of the most wide open fields in the WWE Money in the Bank ladder match that we've had in a long time. So let's first break it down. When Braun Breaker challenges Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship in a very interesting match, and I'm very interested to see how they book this, because ever since being left out of the King of the Ring tournament, Braun Breaker has been on an absolute tear, sparing people left and right. He broke Ludwig Kaiser's ribs. He sent Ricochet to AEW. He sent Ilya Dragunov to the hospital essentially for a couple weeks. And the unpredictable badass with the dog barking is going to attempt to take the Intercontinental Championship from Sami Zayn. And again, Braun Breaker has been booked so strong since coming up to the main roster in the WWE draft. He has not been pinned. He has not been submitted. He has been built as this unstoppable force with his spear running around the ring and just destroying people in the flash in an instant. It'll be interesting to see how WWE books this. Is Braun Breaker going to become essentially the next Brock Lesnar? Could he squash Sami Zayn? And I think the answer unequivocally to that is yes. The question you have to ask yourself here is, does WWE want Sami Zayn's Intercontinental Championship run to end? Because Sami Zayn's first part of his Intercontinental Championship reign was all about protecting Chad Gable and, Otis and Alpha Academy and all that. And now they're going into the storyline with the Wyatt Six. Now, I think eventually Sami Zayn is going to get involved back in with the Bloodline, which we will talk about a little bit later. But I don't think that WWE is ready to give Sami Zayn his championship run yet. We know Triple H likes these long title reigns. And again, there was a possibility for Gable to win the championship at Clash of the Castle, but they've clearly gone in another direction with his character. I think if Braun Breaker wins this championship, you almost have to give Braun Breaker a Gunther-like run with the championship as to who's going to stop Braun Breaker, which I don't know, again, if WWE wants a year-plus long reign with the Intercontinental Championship. I don't know if this is Braun Breaker's time yet. I think there's going to be some incident where, Breaker goes for a spear of some sort. Sami's able to catch him with the haluva kick. Sami Zayn will get the win. There will be some incredible spears. It will be a high-flying, fun-paced matchup. But I do think Sami Zayn is going to retain the Intercontinental Championship, though I also think it is too close to call. Let's get to the six-person tag team match between the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, the Viper Randy Orton, and the prize fighter Kevin Owens against Solo Sikoa, Tommy Tonga, Tonga Loa, and the Bloodline being represented by Jacob Fatu with no more Paul Heyman. What a cinema segment that was this past Friday night on SmackDown when they put Paul Heyman for the announce table. And no, Paul Heyman is not Solo Sikoa's tribal chief. The tribal chief is the one, the only Roman Reigns. And I don't know if this is going to turn into a DQ. I don't know if the Bloodline is going to win this match. I don't know if it's going to turn into a no disqualification street fight. I don't know what the scenario is going to be. I do know that Cody, Randy, and Kevin Owens are not going to win this match. I do believe that this will set up a Cody Rhodes Solo Sikoa main event in my hometown, Cleveland, Ohio, Cleveland Brown Stadium for WWE SummerSlam, where we will see the return of the tribal chief of the head of the table, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, formerly known as Roman Reigns, to a massive pop where everybody thinks that Roman is going to attack Cody Rhodes, but instead he goes after Solo Sikoa, and we get this feud throughout the entire fall with WWE heading to Monday Night Raw on Netflix in January, starring Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, the return of Jimmy Uso, along with Sami Zayn, and potentially even the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes against Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tonga Loa, Tommy Tonga, and potentially even the final boss, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, in War Games Survivor Series in November. That's where I think we're ending with this whole storyline. People think Randy Orton is going to turn on Cody Rhodes. I think WWE is potentially saving them for a match down the line, maybe at Bash in Berlin or one of these other premium live events here as we head into the fall. I don't think Randy's going to turn on Cody yet. I think Randy, Cody, Kevin, they're all battling here against the Bloodline. It's going to be a very fun match. Again, I don't know if it's going to turn into a massive broad DQ. It sounds like it's just going to be a normal six-man tag. Things are going to break down, but I predict that Solo Sikoa will deliver the spike and he will win this matchup. Now, I don't think they're going to have him pin Cody Rhodes clean. Maybe he pins Rhodes. I don't know, but I have this feeling KO may be the one here to take the fall. Then we get to the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. From Friday Night SmackDown, we have It's Tiffy Time, Tiffany Stratton. We have Chelsea Green. We have Naomi. From Monday Night Raw, we have Zoe Starks. We have Lyra Valkyria, and we have last year's winner, Io Sky from Damage Control. And if you take away this match, Naomi has been in one woman's Money in the Bank ladder match. Zoe Starks was in last year's Money in the Bank ladder match, and Io Sky was in last year's Money in the Bank ladder match. And then after that, everybody else is a first-year participant. So very green when it comes to, especially the women's side of the Money in the Bank ladder match here. I do think there are two legitimate options to win the match, that being Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green, both from the Blue brand, which obviously would both be very entertaining when it comes to the woman's Money in the Bank briefcase. I can only imagine what Chelsea in the Bank could do. Though I do think my favorite here to win the match is Tiffany Stratton. I think Nia Jax is probably going to knock off Bayley, the Queen of the Ring, getting her crown at SummerSlam in Cleveland. Tiffany Stratton will then turn on Nia Jax, who she seems to have a little bit of a buddy with. Boom, cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase, and for the second straight year, the woman's Money in the Bank briefcase cashed in at SummerSlam. Tiffany Stratton walks out of First Energy Stadium, your new WWE Women's Champion. I could very well see that scenario. Again, I think Chelsea in the Bank would also be very entertaining. Chelsea Green's character work along with Piper Niven has been fantastic. The reaction she got in her qualifying match against Chicago, in my opinion, says it all. I don't think Io Sky is going to go back to back, though. I was amazed. On Raw this past Monday night, they said that Io Sky, could become the first person since CM Punk in 2009 to win back-to-back Money in the Bank contract ladder matches, which seems like so long ago. It seemed like somebody else would do it since then, but it is a true fact. I think that this will lead to the eventual split of Damage Control. Now, I don't know who's going to be the face. I don't know if it's going to be Io. Don't know if it's going to be Kyrie. Don't know if it's going to be Dakota Kai. Damage Control has 100% lost their voice ever since Bayley, got executed from the group, and Asuka's been out of action. And they just feel completely lost, in my opinion, on the red brand. I think Lyra Valkyria and Zoe Starks will have good showings. They're definitely dark horses, though I don't think they're going to win. I think out of those two, Zoe Stark would be more of a dark horse. If you remember, she came in last year under Trish Stratus in that feud with Becky Lynch. She has come into her own, and I think if WWE had a women's mid-card championship, that'd be a very good place to give Zoe Stark a title opportunity. Because I think Zoe Stark is very talented in the ring. She needs more character work. I think she's sort of the opposite of Shayna. Shayna is more character than in-ring work. I think Shayna's, in-ring work is mostly submissions. I like Zoe Stark's moveset. She's already got that missile drop kick like a missile. I like the Z-Force, 360 as a finisher. I just think Zoe needs more time on the mic, which is why I think the tag team is interesting. Overall, I think Zoe has a lot of potential. I think Lyra Valkyria has a lot of potential. She's been getting over with the live crowds. I think it comes down to Tiffany and Chelsea Green for the briefcase on the Blue brand. I'm going to say Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton wins the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Now it's time we get to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, which will feature from the Blue brand Carmelo Hayes, LA Knight, yeah, and Andrade. And from the Red Brand, we have main event Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, and Chad Gable. And again, a star-studded field with not a lot of former world champions in there, and we have some interesting possibilities. Now, selfishly, I wanted Finn Balor to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, cash in on Damian Priest. We have had old drama from the Judgment Day. Priest, former Money in the Bank winner. Now Balor wins it. That's how they do the turn. Obviously, it's not going to happen. I think when you take away this men's Money in the Bank ladder match, we're going to have a lot of false finishes. We're going to have a lot of interference, and I am here for it. Obviously, CM Punk is going to return. He's going to cost Drew McIntyre the Money in the Bank ladder match again, which will lead us to one of those personal rivalries in SummerSlam history. CM Punk against Drew McIntyre. I do think Logan Paul will screw LA Knight out of the men's Money in the Bank match, which will lead us to the United States Championship match at SummerSlam. And credit to WWE for doing Punk and McIntyre, LA Knight, Logan Paul. Both these two matches they've been teasing for months. They've been able to hold off the in-ring action. Obviously, for the most part, LA Knight, Logan Paul got a little triple threat action in there, but they've been able to hold off the one-on-one feuds here for months until we get to the biggest party of this summer. And then I do believe the Wyatt Six, who has been targeting Chad Gable because of the way he turned on Otis and his family. I think the Wyatt Six will cost Chad Gable the Money in the Bank briefcase. So, with all of that being said, that leads us then to three potential winners. Obviously, Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, and main event Jey Uso. Now, I think Jey Uso will win this match. I don't see Andrade or Carmelo Hayes being championship material yet. I don't see Andrade winning it at all. I think Carmelo Hayes, would be a potential dark horse to shoot his status up, on the blue brand. But I think it's very clear here how over Jey Uso is with the fireflies, the yeeting. He has one of the most incredible entrances, I think, in WWE history. Jey Uso is going to be the men's Money in the Bank ladder match winner, and I could see him potentially cashing in on Gunther, who I do think will win the world championship at SummerSlam. I'll discuss who he faces, obviously, in the final match of the night for the world championship. But I think Jey Uso could win. I think he could cash in. I think he could become world champion, and I think even be world champion when he gets back in with the bloodline, Roman Reigns and his family. Roman Reigns proving that Jey Uso can make it on his own. Now he comes back to help his cousin in arms against Solo Sikoa and the bloodline in a full family circle moment where Jey Uso is now, one of the main leaders. Jey has broken out on his own, but he's always, been a big family member. And even though he's not in a tag team anymore, Jey Uso always protects his family. I think that's the direction they're going. Very fun match again. I think we're gonna have a ton of false finishes with the three interferences for a briefcase. It's gonna look like WrestleMania 40. I saw that meme this morning on the internet. It's gonna look like WrestleMania 40 where Cena came down and The Rock came down and all that. So I'm very excited. We'll get to the main event now. The World Championship. Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, and a very interesting stipulation, the gentleman's agreement, ladies and gentlemen. If Seth Rollins wins, he can no longer challenge for the World Championship as long as Damian Priest is champion. If Seth Rollins wins, though, Damian Priest will no longer be a part of Judgment Day. And the question I have is this how we get to the Damian Priest Finn Balor split? Does Finn Balor do something that Damian Priest tried to do last year? And that is helping. Obviously Finn Balor tried to Damian tried to help Finn Balor, win the title last year from Seth Rollins. Does Finn do the same thing against Priest here? But instead of Priest retaining, he actually cost Priest the championship. That leads to the Judgment Day split. Rhea Ripley comes back, and the whole Judgment Day is torn apart. That definitely could be a story. My thing here is that no matter what, Gunther, in my opinion, is walking into Bastion Berlin in Germany, the World Champion. And so whether he faces Seth Rollins or whether he faces Damian Priest, I think he's going to win. I think it'd be very interesting to see, I think the stipulation of Rollins, not challenging the championship for Priest doesn't matter in effect because, again, I think Gunther will win the title anyways. I think it'll be interesting to see, maybe Gunther face Priest. They've been teasing that match for months. It hasn't really happened yet. And to see Gunther go back to Judgment Day way back when he was Intercontinental Champion and Priest was the Money in the Bank briefcase holder, it's a little bit of a different animal. And I think that could get Priest, the face turn there once he loses the World Championship to Gunther instead of losing the World Championship to Seth, because I don't love the idea of Seth Rollins being a transitional champion for a month. And so with that, I do think that Rollins is going to win the title. I think Balor, is going to have some sort of interference. I do think we're going to have the transitional champion here that I talked about. Again, don't love it. I think it's been a very fun match, and I'm a big fan of Seth Rollins, but I just don't like the fact that he's only going to be champion for 1 month. But it will lead us to the Judgment Day split, and when Rhea Ripley gets back, and who knows, with Morgan making involved, Dominic Mysterio making involved, all of that, and what I think will be a very entertaining main event, and what will set up the big storyline for the biggest party of the summer, once again in my hometown, Cleveland, Ohio. With that, to recap, I do have Sami Zayn retaining the Intercontinental Championship over Braun Breaker. I have the Bloodline defeating Cody, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. I have Tiffany Stratton in the time winning the women's Money in the Bank. I have Jey Uso winning the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, and I have Seth Rollins winning the World Heavyweight Championship from Damian Priest, and Finn Balor turning on Priest and starting the Judgment Day descent. Again, I do think a lot of these matches are close to call. I don't know who's going to win between Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. I don't know how they're going to book the ending of this Bloodline KO Orton Rhodes match. Women's Money in the Bank, I think, is down to Stratton and Green. I think the men's Money in the Bank ladder match is essentially down to Jey Uso and Carmelo Hayes. And I think the World Championship match could go either way. So sometimes predictability is good and unpredictability is good. I think we get the best of both worlds here at WWE Money in the Bank as we head into SummerSlam, my hometown, August 3rd, Cleveland, Ohio. I will be there as well as the SmackDown before. Like that clip from the Brand's World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brand's World podcast right here on YouTube.